Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
How are we this evening? It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see you.
How's everyone doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Cheers. Cheers, Jack.
Cheers, Stu.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, Duncan. How's your week been, Duncan?
Oh, it's been all right. I've been hanging out on the internet, up in the cloud.
Oh, in the cloud. Great.
In the cloud, aye.
You're a man for being online, aren't you? You're always online.
Oh, aye. I live in the World Wide Web.
You're always on those MSN chats.
That's right, aye.
Yeah, is there something different about you this week? No, I can't quite put my finger on it.
I think he's using ICQ Messenger at the moment.
Yeah, I think you need to get something on your end has gone really wrong.
It's nothing. There's nothing wrong. I'm just hanging out in the cloud.
I'm sure it's fine. Can anyone let us know if there's any issues with the layout? I mean, I think it's fine.
Looks good here.
Okay.
Whereabouts are you, Jack, this week? You had a Delamitri in the studio last time I spoke to you.
Well, this week I'm trying to get into the soul side of things, so I'm really thinking of working with people like, Simply Red and other bands like Lighthouse Family, for instance, stuff like that.
Okay, Lighthouse Family.
And
pretty cool.
That's in the pipeline. I'll get around to asking them, and one day and they might come. So.
Well, I'm sure they'll be watching the live stream here. How many viewers have we got this week?
We've got over 20 at the moment.
Over 20?
Over 20. 20 regular Gorms viewers. It's a lot of people that we've been seeing every week, which is great. So welcome back, everyone.
Hello,
welcome
everyone.
Back. But that's 20 people that's 20 computers connected, right? And if each computer has maybe 5 people watching it, which is what most families, I'd imagine, do, that's over 100 people viewing. I mean, that's coming up to rival some of the big programs, Game of Thrones and stuff like that, all the big ones.
Yeah.
The Hogmanay, Jules Hogmanay Hootenanny, stuff like that.
Yeah, big time. The big leagues. What have you got lined up for us tonight then, Jack, from your studio there?
Well, I've got some tracks lined up to go, some audio files that'll be spinning. I've got Black Velvet Band is going to be our first song tonight, and I hope people enjoy that. It's an old version of it. I think we do it a bit different now, but
and who's going to be performing this one?
Well, it's a new up and coming band called the Gorms.
The Gorms, right? Well, I bet they're struggling at the moment with the coronavirus lockdown.
I think
before we play this song, Duncan, has anyone got anything good to say? Is there any? Let's go through them.
Alex Ellenson says hello, guys. He loves Fridays. We love Fridays.
Good to see you again, Alex.
Daniel Sunday's back on with us. He says yo. Hello from the McPhersons down in Suffolk, from Victoria McPherson there.
Oh, we played at their wedding, didn't we?
We certainly did.
Was that the cider wedding?
Oh, you weren't invited.
I wasn't invited.
You weren't at that one.
Raston Blue, you're not allowed
there. Let's see. Oh, Malta Camerlin says she likes the fancy new logo.
Oh,
so
nice.
Thanks for that.
I'm sure everything else is, like, the technical side is fine. The picture seems fine just now. Let us know if there's anything weird about it.
How could it be better?
Yeah, I mean, it's the framing and everything is fine.
Looks good here.
Pascal Battaglia says, hello, guys.
Hello, Pascal.
D. Hall Newland, Scotch in hand, ready for some music. Well, just as well. The first one's, it's a bit of a drinking song, really, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Well said.
I mean, actually, most of the ones that we sing are drinking songs. Funny that.
Typecast.
Any others?
Yeah, Victoria McPherson says, cheers from Al. Hello, Al.
Hey, Al.
Cheers to you too.
How you doing? Good to see you again. Thanks for joining us on a Friday night.
Daniel Sunday, doing better seeing you chaps. Thank you very much, Daniel.
You too, Daniel. How's
Been
the
too long
wee
since
one?
we saw you. Oh, we might have to wait a wee while till we get a reply to that one. Oh,
That works.
oh, Ken Longfellow says that my eyebrows will be the background for the whole stream. Oh, that's a question.
Something weird about it? The background?
Something about my eyebrows. I'm not sure. Mega
All right.
big
Well, they
eyes
are the-
chat.
Your eyebrows are the best thing in every room that they walk into.
Yeah, they have a life of their own. Chris Riley says mega big eyes chat.
Good to see you, Chris. Welcome
Hey, Chris.
Talking about, yeah, that's the only thing I have. Daniel says there's 3 of them watching there, so that'll be Mum, Dad, and the little one.
back. Great.
Hey.
Oh, Daniel says hi, Jamie. We've got Jamie's on. We've got loads of folk.
We need to
watching
get
with
more
us.
people in the chat talking to each other. Let's just have a free for all.
Heed. Eileen Mullen says heed. That's what was that? So I married an axe murderer, was it?
That's a good Mike Myers one. That.
It's one of the good ones.
I think me being in the cloud is really starting to bug Ken. Says I need to be in a window, not on a background.
Should Ken? Is it better if I do this? Let me know. Let me know if this is better for you. There we go.
Well, you know what? That's a massive improvement, really, isn't it?
Looks good to me. Slightly back to the left, I suppose. There we are. That's great. Well, should we have a listen to this track, the Black Velvet Band?
That's maybe a good idea. Oh, look, I'm a normal size now. Oh, fun.
Yeah. Okay. So everyone, hope you enjoy this next tune. It's off our first album. It's called Black Velvet Band.
To trade I was bound, I and many an hour's sweet happiness I was spent in that quaint little town. But a sad misfortune came over me that caused me to stray from the land, far away from my friends and companions, a slave to the Black Velvet Band. Her eyes they shone like diamonds, I called her the queen of the land, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up in a black velvet band. I took a stroll down Broadway, a meaning that long for to stay. How and who should I spy but this pretty fair maid coming traipsing on down the highway? She was both fair and handsome, her naked was just like a swan's, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up in a black velvet band. Her eyes they shone like diamonds, I called her the queen of the land, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up in a black velvet band. I took a stroll with this pretty fair maid, and a gentleman passing us by. Well, I knew that she meant the doing of him by the look in her roguish black eye. She reached right into his pocket, and she's placed the gold watch in me palm. And the very first thing that I said was bad luck to the black bloody luck. Her eyes they shone like diamonds, I called her the queen of the land, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up in a black velvet band. And before the judge and the jury, the next morning I was to appear. Well, the judge he says to me, young man, your case is to be proven clear. We'll give you 7 years penal servitude to be spent far away from this land, far away from your friends and companions, a slave, a slave. Her eyes they shone like diamonds, I called her the queen of the land, and her hair it hung over her shoulder, tied up in a black velvet band. So come on, you jolly young fellows, and a warning take my key. Well, if you're ever out on the town, my lads, beware of them pretty colleens, 'cause they'll feed you with drink, oh yeah, until you're unable to stand. And the very first thing that she'll notice is you've landed in Van Diemen's land. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I called her the queen of the land. And her hair, it hung over her shoulder, tied up in a black velvet band. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, I called her the queen of the land. And her hair, it hung over her shoulder, tied up in a black velvet band.
Okay.
Well, how was
Enjoyable. I
that?
love that.
That was aye.
That was
Definitely.
Black Velvet Band.
That was. Victoria McPherson says from Al, really missing time in a whiskey bar. You're the best band ever, and Black Velvet Band was awesome at the wedding.
Thanks,
Cracking.
One
Al.
of his favourite songs by us. So thank you for that.
I walked
Cheers,
past
Al.
the whiskey bar yesterday. I walked down the Royal Mile at like 11 o'clock at night, and it was just a complete ghost town.
Yeah.
It was really, really bizarre. I've not walked down that way for a while.
Interesting.
neither have I.
Interesting to hear that.
Nobody about.
Well, it's a bit of a ghost town up here as well, without the town, to be honest with you. I don't know if you'd remember, but last week I was up at the Hutchinson Bothy looking for UFOs.
That's right, aye.
I do. Did you find any?
I did, actually. We didn't get conclusive proof or anything, but we all did see quite a lot of interesting stuff. Just hard to catch a lot of it with, no one ever has a camera at the right time and things. But I did actually have something else, but I'll maybe speak to you about that a little bit later on. I don't even know if I want to talk about it on stream.
Okay.
Is it classified?
stuff.
It's not class. It could be classified. It could be classified. I mean, I've told no one about it actually so far. So I'll think about it. Anyway, we'll get more messages.
Let's see. Well, Trisha D. Hall Newland was asking how you can get our albums. Ken helpfully replied with our Bandcamp website. That's thegorms.bandcamp.com. So if you do want to stream or buy our 4 albums,
I'm pretty sure the link is also in the description of this very live stream.
Down below.
That's the PayPal.
That's the
rather than
PayPal, but if you go to the description on Facebook, not on the screen, it's there as well. So yeah, we've got 3 albums for sale there. I don't know. Here's the thing, though. I don't know how this Brexit thing is affecting sending CDs to other European countries yet. So
surely the mail would maybe affect. Well, I suppose if there's nobody.
I don't know. I'm hearing a lot about people not getting things, but
Okay.
I think maybe the price has gone up. But we'll try our best.
Yeah, we'll figure that out, and maybe we'll let you know.
But people can still download the MP3s.
They just travel over the airwaves,
through the ether.
Yeah.
Duncan sends them out.
Some more messages here. Malta Camerlin saying that we looked really young and hopeful in those old pictures.
And look at what's happened to us now. Look at how old we look now.
Yeah, I was just thinking, looking at the 3 of us now. What happened?
We're
What
all
happened?
haggard.
Tough year.
A tough year.
Thank you.
It's been a decade since those were taken, I think, is it no? We're not
I would
far
only
off it.
been. I was 12 years old then, I think.
I thought we were trying to look hungover. That was the whole idea behind that photo shoot.
Oh yeah.
But I
'cause,
don't think we had to try very hard.
No. What was the song on it that was inspired the photo was "Where Was I Last Night."
It was. We're gonna have to play that song some week.
We'll need to get that on next week. It's not on the playlist tonight, but that's okay. We can play it next week. Do we want to play another song, or do you want to keep?
Give us more of these
these-
chats, Duncan.
More of these chats.
Bash through them, see if we can get through a few of them.
David Lee Smith says, "Trust no one." There's no context to that, so I'm not really sure.
None required.
None required. Trust no one. Okay, there we go. Ken Longfellow's asking, will there be a reprinting of Where Was I Last Night?
Possibly.
That's a good question.
Ken.
We don't have any of the actual CDs left, do we?
There might be one or two somewhere, but I'm not sure. But yeah, we may. I mean, it's the thing is now it's like we're not really selling as many CDs because there's no gigs, so it's the cost of making them. As long as we can, get the cost of making them paid for. And
we may compile it all onto a sort of mini disc at some point, I suppose, so you can get them all on a mini disc.
Or a cassette tape, possibly.
Well, I was thinking
cassettes
I think a gramophone edition would have been.
That would be
quite
great.
good.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Ken. Thanks a lot, Ken. Yes, Duncan. Any more?
So Eileen Mullins saying trippy hands.
Thank you.
Trippy hands. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, me and Eileen go way back.
Are people enjoying this
Okay.
set? Are people enjoying this setup of Duncan just being disembodied, or would they prefer him to have his own background like us?
We already know what Ken thinks.
Oh, what's happening with Stu's hands?
Trippy hands.
Trippy hands. I see. It all makes sense now. David Lee Smith's asking if we can play Cod Liver Oil, and he'll send a tenner. Jack, is that possible? I'll leave that in your hands.
Possibly.
Right.
Okay. Suspense is building.
We'll do that in the break if we can.
In the break.
Well, I mean, add it to the playlist, if we can. Anyway, Chris Riley's asking, did you know that the UFO from Flight of the Navigator was played by Andy Serkis?
That's interesting to know. Great film.
Do you have a response to that?
I'm not surprised to hear it. He really was a pioneer of special effects in his day. And Flight of the Navigator, often overlooked in favour of a lot of other classics from that period. Like, I guess They Live is probably overshadows everything from that time.
Inner Space.
Oh,
films like that. And Battery's not included in films like that.
Yeah. So Flight of the Navigator, it might even be a bit older than those. I'd have to look it up again. But there you go. Andy Serkis played the spaceship in that. I didn't know that.
And he also played the little boy who was the main character.
Was that not the guy from the Wonder Years?
No, it was motion capture. I mean, he was just sort of like in a sort of suit with little balls on it, and later on they made it look like the boy.
So the spaceship played the boy.
Exactly.
Got you. Okay, there we go. Thanks a
did
lot
not
for
know that.
So
Did not know that.
no, Chris. Cheers, Chris. Mr. Riley, always good for a pub quiz.
Are there any more, Duncan?
Oh yeah.
Before we
Lots of folk chiming in. Jamie's asking if the All Triangle is going to be on the next album.
Unfortunately not, Jamie. We didn't record that.
It could be on the next
It's
album.
not Jamie Hawkins asking that, is it?
It is indeed, because I mean, how could it be without having his wonderful vocals on it?
I mean, is that him asking us? Is
That
he in?
is him asking
he's
us,
on the
yeah.
stream. Oh, hello, Jamie. I thought it was another Jamie.
Oh right, sorry. No, I should have specified.
It's not on the album, but maybe you could send us. Oh, you know what? Let's get some audience participation here. Maybe you could send us a video of you singing it, and we'll play it on our next stream. How about that?
That sounds
Can't
like a
ask for
plan.
fairer than that, Jamie. That'd be good.
And
Great singer.
we promise
Good to hear
we
you.
won't edit it and make it look even worse. And make it all weird and stuff. No, I'm not joking. No, just send us your video. We'll play it, man, because that'll be pretty cool.
Jack Weir's a man you can trust. You know how well he runs Duncan's visuals on this stream. So, any more messages, Duncan?
Yeah. Trisha D. Hall Newlands saying, excellent. We have UK connections. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, a willy and a way.
And David Lee Smith's asking the All Triangle Hairy Mary. I'm not sure if they're the same song. No. Hairy Mary. Hairy Mary
Reading too
is,
deep there.
Yeah.
The old hairy triangle.
Played by
Never go too deep.
Andy Serkis.
Not with Harry Mary.
Oh. Greetings from Canada, says Cynthia West Long.
Hello,
Daniel
Cynthia.
Sunday's reminding us of the dinosaurs.
Well, let me just say, Daniel, you just sent us, 5 minutes ago, you sent us £30. So thank you very, very much for that, man. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, Daniel.
Cheers. And what have we got any other comments before the song?
Stu, Chris is asking what's with the Johnny bag on your head.
The Johnny bag.
Not my words. Not my words.
We should be bleeping this.
It's very cold up here. That's why I've got this in my head.
Ken Longfellow's saying he's going to download the MP3s. Daniel Sunday's asking if you're cold. I think we just had that answer. Yep. You cannot incarcerate Duncan. Thank you, Chris. I would hope so.
Next time I'm going to get like bars in front of your picture. That'd be pretty funny.
That would really upset Chris, though. Do you want to do that? I don't think that's a good move. Anyway, Caroline Lee Smith saying, "Don't worry, Jack. We'll send a tenner anyway. It's Friday night, Gorms night. It's Gorms night with all our regular Gorms friends.
The Gormettes.
Hey, so should we have like a song right now? And
I think that's a good idea.
All right, everyone. So we're going to have a Robert Burns song.
Yes.
Parcel of Rogues. Or as me and Duncan call it, Parcel of Rouges.
There we'll take all our Scottish fame. I farewell ye ancient glory, and farewell even to the Scottish name. I say famed in martial story, and whose sack runs o'er the Solway sands, and Tweed runs to the ocean. Take where England's province stands, such a parcel of rogues in the nation. What force or guile could ne'er subdue? I threw many like ages, it is wrought now by the coward few. For a hireling traitor's wages, the English steal like we could disdain, secure in Vather station. Oh, but English gold, it has been our bane, such a parcel of rogues in the nation. And my old grey head had lain in clay, I we Bruce and loyal Wallace, what force or Dane that e'er could sway for a freedom that couldn't sell us, but pith and power till my last hour. I'll make this declaration: we are bought and sold for English gold, such a parcel of rogues in the nation. Well, all folk songs have a meaning, but sometimes the meaning is hard to discern. Take this song, for example. It's called Matthew Groves, and it's all about a young man called just that, Matthew Groves, or Matty to his friends. Now, we're his friends, so let's call him Matty Groves. Young Matthew, he went into church one morning, like all good men should, and after the meeting was finished, he was approached by a woman. She said, "Come away tonight with me, Matthew. We'll have a great time, just you and me. We'll spend the whole night together." He said, "Aye, I will," but of course in his English accent. But then he noticed upon her fingers wedding rings. She was married. He realised she was married to none less than Lord Darnall, the local landlord. However, being a God-fearing man was not enough for Matthew. He wanted to be something more. So the two of them took flight. And after a night of passion, when Matthew awoke, he realised his sins. But worse, Lord Darnall knew of his sins, for there, at the foot of the bed, was her husband, Lord Darnall.
Hey folks, good to be
Hello,
back.
Jack. That was interesting what happened there.
There was a problem with the technical side of things. Funny that.
Blasted Elon Musk, probably fiddling about with Facebook again, right?
For some reason, my picture's going a lot slower. Anyway,
Okay.
let's forget about that and just want to say thank you very much to Priscilla V Bro. I think that's how you say your second name. For sending us £10. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Priscilla. I hope you're having a good night.
And
I hope you're enjoying the music so far.
And I want to say thank you to. Oh my God!
Here we go.
£20 from. Thank you, Bob. Everything. My whole systems here is just failing under the strain of this Gorms stream. Bob Newland says, thanks for the great memories and music. Stay safe and healthy. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for the £20.
Cheers, Bob. It's great.
I think there's a lot of freezing going on. I don't know if the audio is still coming through alright, but the video.
Yeah, there's a lot of freezing. There is definitely a lot of freezing.
I'm sorry, I've got my OnlyFans broadcasting at the same time here.
Someone bought an album. Ken Longfellow just bought Where Was I Last Night? The first album
thanks,
for £10.
Cheers, man.
I know I'm lagging here weirdly. I don't know why, but the other two aren't for some reason. And then let me see. We've got someone else. We got Cynthia Long sent us £30. Thank you so much, Cynthia. It's really much appreciated.
That's great, guys.
So let me just quickly change screen here just to see if it does anything. Hang on, with my camera feed.
Okay.
So we just put that on screen, and then we go back to the feed. Oh, why am I like so delayed? I don't know.
Technology.
I tell you what, I'm gonna restart my video. I'm going to reconnect my camera, so you'll hear me, folks, but you won't necessarily see me for a minute. Anyway, Stewart, I hear you've been itching to say something.
He's joined the ranks of great literary heroes of Scotland.
Well, not me, but if you're going to sort out your sound or your visual or whatever it is, Jack, at the moment, then I suppose, yeah, I mean, Duncan, this is on you. I mean, you twisted my arm here. So, folks, if you have just joined us, we're a Scottish folk band that plays in Edinburgh normally. Haven't been able to for quite a while because of the ongoing coronavirus. If you have been following along, we've been doing these live streams, and as I'm sure you're aware, the three of us are very, very big into the sort of paranormal, the unexplained, and I live in the quite isolated part of the north of Scotland, and up here there is quite a lot of unusual activity that happens around a sort of stone circle that we've got up in the woods, very close, so it's safe to go walking to. So I don't exactly know how to explain this because it does sound a bit mad. I do realise that, but when I was out walking the dogs just today. I was walking past the burn at the usual place, and I heard a voice calling to me, sort of a girl's voice. Now, up here, there isn't, you tend to know most of the folk that are about, so I thought, well, I'll go and have a look. And a very pretty young girl was there. She was a ghost, there was no doubt about that. Immediately I was aware of the fact that she was a ghost, but she said, over you come and have a seat, because I've got a story to tell you. I always bring a notepad with me when I'm up the woods, just in case I see like an interesting bird or something I want to sketch. So I did have my notepad with me, and I wrote down the story. So Duncan, you said you want to hear the story.
I'd love to hear it, man. I'm on tenterhooks.
Okay. So here, this is what she said. Like, the two of us sat down. I had a flask with me, so the two of us had a wee drink, and this is what she told me. I wrote it down the best I could. So. I am Jeannie Bruce of Netherbogie, and I died on the 5th of February, 1746, aged 19, and this is my story. On that day in 1746, I awoke to the cry of the great old cock that my father had named Charlie after the bonny prince that was the hero of our nation. Pulling my 18th century clothing on over my pale freckled thighs and twisting slightly to allow my ample but youthful bosom inside, I stepped outside of the cottage. The day was fine, with a thin veil of mist creeping over the green and purple Grampian mountains. A shiver ran through my body at that moment. Not because of the misty dew that had gathered on my elegant nose before dripping with its cold fluidity into the warm pocket of my cleavage, which now spiked with excited goosebumps at shocking yet arousing sensation. No, not that. The shiver was because today I would pay my respects at the grave of my father and brother. A single cross marked each grave, killed fighting for the king in exile. I remembered the day that it happened. They had been in the village plotting with the other sympathizers of the cause when George II's men had arrived, led by the evil Prince William, Duke of Cumberland, known as the Butcher. All the village folkmen had been rounded up for inspection. Achtung! Apparel! Guten Tag! Shouted the Duke in that strange foreign language that the King of England and his kin spoke. I watched from the doorway of the local market as the Duke trotted backward and forwards along the assembly on his horse. A huge Arab that I could not fail to observe was in possession of an erect and searching flesh pole of such magnitude that, despite my still maintained innocence, caused the red heat to burn atop my gorgeous chest. The horse and rider stopped in front of my father and brother, and the Duke peered down at them. Guten Tag. Guten Tag, my lord. Guten Tag, my lord, said my father and brother, both sweating and shivering in the rain, on their knees, looking up in horror at the monster in front of them. Prince William leaned closer, hanging from the side of the egregiously endowed stallion, and lifting the visor of his armoured helm, parted his lips to reveal his shining white teeth and long green tongue. I sobbed, but could not turn away as the long tongue extended until its forked green tip licked at the bead of sweat dripping from my little brother's head. A rumbling groan of pleasure emanated from the bulky armoured form of Prince William, and with a twist of his head, he dragged his probing muscle across my brother's crown. The horse between the Duke's thighs bayed in pleasure as its phallus leapt around like a gay mayfly. I heard myself muttering under my breath, "It's as if the two beasts are one." As the thick hail fell upon the terrible scene, one of the Duke's men stepped forward and held his musket bayonet against my father's chest. "Guten Tag," he shouted against the cracking roar of thunder and lightning. "Give praise to your master, peasant." Clenching his fists, my father looked the soldier cold in his eyes. "Here's to the king." He paused and turned to look at me, and time stood still as my father smiled at me. It was a smile that told of many stories, written across many years. Here was my father, a man who did not anger easily, not when God stripped his mother from his childhood in the arms of a southerner, nor when the Act of Union had ripped away his livelihood, not even when, due to his adaptability and initiative, not to mention peaceful and caring nature, following the killing of his wife by a Hanoverian and the seizure of his lands by orders from the Lords of Union, he was forced to raise his family crofting upon the shore. Not even, but this was too much. This foul display by the prince, it was too much. That smile that told many stories. Time passes though, and does not return. Looking just like Russell Crowe, my father looked up at Prince William, the Duke of Cumberland, and repeated, "Here's to the king. Over the water!" And he surged forward with his claymore swinging, a huge arc, staccatos of lightning, blasted divots of peat from the ground as the whole mountainside began to erupt with seismic explosions. But alas, despite years of training for the good of his personal well-being and that of his family, my father was known as one of the finest fly fishers in the Dee Valley. Despite it all, he was no match for Prince William's men. In a hail of musket fire, all the men of the village were killed in an instant, and I turned away and closed my eyes so I would not see what the Hanoverian men would now do with the bodies next. We have all heard the stories. For how long the perverse desecration of the menkin's bodies lasted, I cannot say, for I would not be shook from my frozen state of terror until a shadow chilled the air around me. The freckles on the tops of my tits struggled against my tight 18th century blouse as Prince William, Duke of Cumberland, hissed at me, "Guten Tag, my Jacobite pretty." Quite
spooky stuff.
Okay.
So this is what the ghost told you.
Let's have a song on that note. And someone asked us for cod liver oil and the orange juice, and hopefully that works. Let me see. Here we go. We're going to try it. Oh, sorry, you couldn't hear me there. We're going to try cod liver oil and the orange juice because someone asked for it. It may not work, but give me a shot. Here we go.
Well, ut of the east there came a hard man, oh, oh, all the way from Brighton. Glory, hallelujah, call of it all and the orange juice. Into a pub came a paralytic, oh, oh, buckfast and cider. What a hell of a mixture, call of it all and the orange juice. Does this bus go to the Denison Valley? Oh, oh, I'm looking for the lumber. Glory, hallelujah, call of it all and the orange juice. Into the dancing he sees Harry Mary, oh, oh, the floor of the Gorms. Glory, hallelujah, call of it all and the orange juice. He says, "New Mary, are you dancing?" "No, it's just the way I'm standing." Glory, hallelujah, call of it all and the orange juice. He says, "Harry Mary, you're one in a million." Aye, so's your chances. Glory, hallelujah, call of it all and the orange juice. He says, "Harry Mary, gotta run your head." "No, I've got a pair of sandals." The hell of fun, call of it all and the orange juice. Well, me and Harry Mary gan out to the dunny. Ho, ho, it wasn't for the first time. It wasn't for the last time. Calling it all and the orange juice. And it comes her mammy, she was gone to the cludgy. Ho, ho, I buggered off sharpish. Glory, hallelujah. Calling it all and the orange juice. Well, Harry Mary, she's looking for a hard man. Oh no, he's joined the Foreign Legion. Sahara under a camel, calling it all and the orange juice.
Oh, welcome back.
What a cracking song that is.
I'm really glad that worked.
So
Now,
there we go.
my video is really annoying me. It's very much delayed, so I'm going to keep having to fix that. But sorry about that.
That's okay. Duncan, have you got any messages from the drivers out there on the roads
The drivers
tonight?
out there. We had a few messages. There was some chatter about 7 drunken nights.
Okay.
Trisha D. Hall Newland says that your story was pure poetry.
Well, not mine. It was
No,
Gina
yours.
Bruce's,
No,
but,
no. Of course, it was the ghost.
That's very nice of her to say.
The story from the ghost, transcribed by your good self. Have you ever been to the Western Isles?